Alrighty, so here is my project, Literacy in Mathematics. And the question that I posed is, how is literacy displayed within mathematics? And I chose this topic to kind of fight against the stigma that there is no reading or writing in math, when actually it's the complete opposite. My intended audience is for anyone who hopes to become a teacher one day, or anyone that is already a teacher, just with the hopes that it brings to light how important and how beneficial literacy is in math. So for my project, kind of dive into 4 main topics, and as you can see on the screen, it's the myths, the truth, applications, and some possible classroom ideas. So first section is common misconceptions about literacy. And the first one being the kind of one I touched on for, my reasoning behind this project is the false narrative that there is no reading and writing in math. A lot of people, they think of math, they don't think of reading and writing, they don't think you need to be good at that to be good at math, when in reality, you do. Literacy is extremely important in math. And second is that there's this false narrative that that some teachers may have, that they need to separate the math or just focus on the math and not focus on the literacy, when it's detrimental to neglect that literacy. They need to come together. They are a package deal. In the next section, the truth, literacy, and math, I discuss why literacy is important in the world of math. Let me just scroll down to this part. I say basically here, literacy in mathematics enables students to develop understanding, communicate their reasoning, and then build connections between terminology, concepts, skills, and representation. So math, you can think of it as its own language. So as you would think about English or Spanish or another language, you need to study math as if it's its own language, and that requires literacy skills. In this next section, I give some actual applications for literacy in a math classroom. I'm gonna point out 3 specific ones that I particularly like. So the first one is having students present their work to the class. This is something that we actually do in one of my math classes here at Hood. My professor has us present our homework or classwork, and we have to describe and articulate our thought process through what we were doing step by step, and have to justify our answers. And this can be a very important thing for students to learn and know how to do. It increases their learning, their understanding, and it helps them think about what they're learning and what they're actually doing, and not just, mindlessly doing a process. And it helps their students or their peers learn the same thing. The next one is number 3, having students explain any mistakes that they have made. This is very important because I am a big supporter of mistakes, especially in math, because that is where you learn the most. Being able to articulate and explain where you went wrong, and then conversely saying how or the right way to do it, really drives in that memory and understanding and comprehension of that skill. I know personally, when I get something wrong on a homework or classwork and I fix it, I am more likely to remember that on a test than I am something I got right away. And then finally is number 8, require students to take notes. It's very important for students to not just hear the information from you, to not just see the information from you, but to write that information down and to learn how to write in mathematical terms. Extremely important. In my final section, I discuss some ideas that teachers can use in their classrooms to enforce literacy practices. So we got some KWL charts, constructed response task, UPS check problem solving method, word walls, vocabulary games, read aloud, story frames. And I added a video from EduUtopia, I think that's how you say it. And I just thought it displayed a great example of a literacy-based math class. If you're able to watch that, it's really interesting. And it is for an elementary school, but it can be modified for any grade level, just increasing the difficulty of the math. But the process is amazing. And then I just have some closing thoughts that kind of sum up everything I talked about. And they're my sources. Yep. And so I think you also want to us to talk about like the technology we use. And so you can clearly see I use S'more. I really liked it. I really like the images and styles and formats I had to pick from. Even though it is a free version, it had a lot of options. Very easy to use, very easy to navigate. I would highly recommend using S'more, and I really enjoyed it for this project because it was a lot more interesting than just doing, like a presentation on like Google Slides or something. Not bashing Google Slides, but having something different. I originally was going to do a website, but this just ended up being easier. But I really enjoy the idea of using websites and this newsletter application in a classroom. I feel like that would be a really great way to work and connect with students. So here's my